A busy day at the V8 Supercars Sydney.com SuperTest at Sydney Motorsport Park. And early action, there was some sprinkles of rain, and it was fantastic seeing the new Ford FGX Falcon out on track, although the bonnets were flexing under speed around this circuit. The boys were pushing the barriers through Brock 05 and even swapping cars at HRT. David Reynolds with a couple of big moments through turn 1, highlighted by this massive slide at a part where they're doing nearly 250 k's per hour. Jack Daniels' team have a new livery, and it seems to be quick too. Those rear wings working nicely, and Rick Kelly would be on top of the first session, although it wasn't all smooth sailings for the Nissans, and the Sydney Motorsport Park signs copping a bit of a clobber. Caruso and Dean Fiore would share car number 10 today with the factory livery. SP Tools and James Courtney getting a little bit crossed up. Jack Perkins had a drive of car 22 today as well, and they were chasing the setup all day long, as were the Volvo boys with Wilson Security colours on board. Playing around with the settings inside the car. Scott McLaughlin chasing that setup. The Sticks Commodore overcooking it, finding the limits, and around goes Shane Van Gisbergen. Very rare that you see that man go over the limit, especially around a track where he definitely knows how to drift. Great liberties were being taken at the exit of turn 5, and Garth Tander was getting his wiggle on. Great to see Marcus Ambrose back at a track where he claimed 2 championships. Happy days for Stone Brothers Racing, but now it's Dick Johnson Racing overlooking that operation. Jamie Winker slipping off the racetrack in a day where we never saw car number 1 top the timesheets. Something for the boys to think about before the shootout tomorrow. $2.5 grand up for grabs. He looks a very determined man in 2015, Shane Van Gisbergen. The track got very hot, conditions over 40 degrees, and the flex of the Xbox Falcon. A lot of guys slipping and sliding through turn 1, and a good crowd of all ages packing out Sydney Motorsport Park. The drama started for car number 34, the wheel coming off David Wall's Volvo. Speaking of Walls, that tyre would end up in one with its relatives, and they would get that car back out on track 30 minutes later. And the flex of these cars in super slow motion, high definition at Sydney Motorsport Park this weekend, as spectacular as always. And in the end, Todd Kelly would top the session after everybody come out for a bit of a simulation run.